Trump's attorney says Michael Cohen completely collapsed, his words, on the stand last week. Roll tape.
Michael Cohen, I believe, has just completely collapsed on the stand under withering cross-examination by President Trump's trial team. So at this moment, I don't think there's any further need to call into question Michael Cohen's credibility, because I think he has none. As of now, to me, this looks like a directed verdict, or at the very least an absolute acquittal, just based on the prosecution's total failure to prove anything, even approximating a crime.
Former prosecutor at the Manhattan DA, Elliot Felig, joins me now. What do you think of a directed verdict?
I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately, for the defense. The defense had brought a written pretrial motion to dismiss the charges, basically on the same theory that they're going to make the argument today at the close of the People's case as a basis for the motion to dismiss. Judges almost never grant those. They really prefer that even when judges perceive a prosecution case as being extremely weak, they prefer the jury to be the one to make the decision. They prefer the jury give it its imprimatur as rejecting the case rather than the judge. So I think it's very, very unlikely he'll grant a directed verdict. Could it be just dismissed, or in some way just it's over? No, the judge says it's over. Forget it. The judge has the discretion to do that, but I think it's extremely unlikely.
Okay. Should the defense lawyers bring any witnesses at all to the stand, like Bob Costello, for example?
So it's important to remember that the prosecution always has the burden of proof. It never shifts. The defense does not have to create an alternative factual scenario. All they have to do is poke holes in the prosecution's scenario to win a trial. That being said, so they shouldn't put on a full case. They shouldn't present, an alternative fact pattern. But if they have a specific witness who can undercut a specific prosecution witness like Bob Costello, sure, that's worth doing.
How about putting Trump himself on the stand?
He would be crazy to testify because the entire dynamic would shift. It would become a trial about a referendum on him. It would take the jury's focus away from the many holes that they've already poked in Michael Cohen's testimony.
So, a very limited number of witnesses for the defense.
If at all.
If at all. No testimony from Trump at all.
Correct.
When can this thing be wrapped up?
Well, if it weren't for the scheduling, they have these off days on Wednesday and Friday. I'd say, the jury would have the case by the end of the day tomorrow. But because we have off day Wednesday, off day Friday, I think the judge probably won't give the case to the jury until after the Memorial Day weekend. Which
is a shame, because the jurors will have to go and sit all the way through Memorial Day weekend.
I think the jurors would much rather have this wrapped up, but yeah, that's the schedule.
So if they did get the case early,
right,
you would think that maybe the jurors would say, oh, forget about this, I want the vacation.
Jurors, we all forget. Jurors are human beings. They want to get this over with. They want to enjoy Memorial Day weekend with their families, just like the rest of us.
Okay, so next week you think it wraps up?
Probably.
Elliot Felig, I'm sure you'll be back next week. Tell us what's happening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Appreciate it.